Let me tell you the best advice I ever got at Harvard. You want to be great? You need to sacrifice. And the more painful the sacrifice, the greater you'll be.
That hurt, you know? And I think that flicked this switch in me where I was like, okay, fuck you, watch this.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong.
Right back. You know, anything in life that you put your mind to, you can do. The world is your oyster. That's all I tell people.
You have to want it as bad as you can breathe, and then you have to believe it.
Trees don't hang around with the grass, even though they all started from the same place.
Unspoken expectations are premeditated resentments.
I'm supposed to be missing. In other words, if you're not going to get rid of fear, then use fear. Use fear or it uses you. It's that simple.
I wake up every single day and I realize that the fact I woke up is more valuable than any amount of money or anything that could have happened during the day. Most people let that go by the wayside and they don't realize that waking up, the simple fact of waking up, is the biggest gift you could get. Like, for example, if I said, I'll give you $10 million cash, but you can't wake up, you'd be like, absolutely not. I want to wake up. So waking up is worth more than $10 million. Yet when people wake up negative. They wake up worrying about the day and worrying about their problems, when in reality, if you can shift your perspective and have that kind of gratitude, when you wake up, you realize it's worth more than $1 million.
To see the fullness and the greatness of yourself.
Yes, sir. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they produce your future.
Sometimes your motivation needs to be because no one else wants to fucking do it. We need doctors. We need fucking lawyers. We need dentists. We need teachers. We also need fucking savages.
Because we are who we are when nobody's watching. If you want to know who you really are, be on your own. Go somewhere on your own, on holiday or whatever, and that's who you are. If you're driving along and you throw the soda can out of the window of the car, that's who you really are. No one does that with kids in the back. Monster. But if you do that, if that's who you, it's interesting to kind of note that. You know, it's the difference between character and reputation. You know, you really know who you are. Reputation is what everyone else thinks about you. You know who you are in yourself.
In the world, you can't get comfortable, bro. Once you get comfortable, you start losing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? You start losing the hunger, you start losing the drive. Once you lose that, it's game over.
We don't rise to the standards we have when others are watching. We fall to the standards we have when no one is watching. The only work that really matters is the work that no one sees. It shows you who you really are rather than who you say you are.
We don't want to suffer. We don't want to feel discomfort. So the whole time we're living our lives in a very comfortable area. There's no growth in that. So for me, I realized that. The reason I became 297 pounds is because that was comfortable. What was very uncomfortable was running. What was very uncomfortable was being on a diet. What was very uncomfortable was trying to face things that I didn't want to face. And I also realized when I was really big, I had no growth.
Said, welcome to the pain zone. It's where we live, okay?
How do we do it? What else you gonna do? Quit? What else you gonna do, man? Go back and be a fat fuck? Sit around and do nothing, be nothing, contribute to nothing, become nothing, build nothing? Because that's the other alternative. I'm just not willing to accept that as my reality.
Just have to crush to get where you are.
I think you have to work every single day. I think that's where your confidence comes from.
For positive habits, what I've realized that people do is they want to cut something out. Okay, I'm going to cut out smoking. I'm going to cut out drinking. But you're not supposed to cut out something. You're supposed to replace it. Because there's a quote that says, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So if you're not thinking about anything, if you're not doing anything, if you're not being productive, then you're most likely going to go back to what? Your tendencies and your old habits that you formed over a long period of time.
Hey man, look, this is what you got to do, bro. Wake up and grind. Wake up and grind. Wake up and grind. Every day. That's the method. I mean, it's not hard. If you get up every single day and put your mind to something, how could you really believe that you won't win? It's not possible. I mean, 99% of people already don't want to grind. So you just start and you're becoming the 1%. This junk is really simple, but you're making it hard. When all you have to do is wake up and grind every day. That's the method.